very shortly, 15 seconds to be precise, and I think it's going to open pretty much flat, but you never know where it's going to end. Where will it close out at 4 o'clock Eastern? Yeah. I haven't a clue, quite frankly, but I can tell you in a couple of seconds, trading will begin and we will be pretty much flat. Maybe just a tad higher.
Here we go.
1 point lower. Here we go. We're off and running. It's Friday morning. We're opened pretty much flat. Okay. I want to show you McDonald's. It is near an all-time high. This stock got a very nice boost. Look at it, 104 today. All-day breakfast did the trick. That's what put it above $100 a share. Who's here to comment on all of this? Ashley Webster, Liz McDonald, D.R. Barton, Todd Horwitz. D.R., if our viewers had listened to you, they would have made a lot of money on McDonald's stock. Are you still buying it at 104?
Up here, Stuart, I'd love to see a pullback. I'm still a long-term buyer. They're still throwing off that nice 3.5-point dividend. All-day breakfast is a big hit. I think Steve Easterbrook is doing a great job as CEO, and people are believing in his turnaround story.
So you're buying more of it?
I'm buying more.
At 104, you're buying
No,
it?
I like it on a pullback, but I would buy more.
You're buying more of it?
Not today.
Because the franchisees hate the all-day breakfast because they're having a hard time getting hold of it.
Listen, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Consumers like all-day breakfast.
Yeah, they love
They're
it.
buying all-day breakfast. Just because the franchisees don't like it is no reason to turn south on the stock.
Right. The franchisees complaining turmoil in the kitchen, adapting to the new menu.
They claim they're losing
Consumers
money
love it.
because they're spending too much time making breakfast, which is a lower cost or lower profit margin than the more expensive burgers.
But you know what? You bring in more people. So what?
Yeah, that's what you need.
And that's the whole thing. Same store
GE, quickly, please. If you own any kind of mutual, well, no, not any kind of mutual fund, but if you own stocks in general, you've probably got a piece of General Electric. Very widely held stock. DR, they reported higher profits today. Would you buy it at 28?
Yeah, higher profits on lower revenues, though, Stuart. I think the international headwinds and the dollar problems are going to plague GE going forward. If I'm putting new money to work, it's not in GE. It's a solid stock, but not where I want to put new money to work.
Come on in, please, in Chicago. Because I know you trade, Todd, I know you trade commodities and currencies, but occasionally you'll look over at the stock market, and GE is a proxy for the stock market. Yes. So are you buying, or would you encourage others to buy GE at 28?
Good morning, Stuart. No, I would absolutely not buy GE. I think it's a great company, but I don't think it's got a lot of upside to go no matter what happens. I think you're seeing earnings problems. And if I hear one more thing about the dollar problems, the dollar is an easy problem to hedge. How companies can continue to make excuses about the dollar is beyond me, but I would not be a buyer of the stock.
But, you know, this morning CFO at GE said that he expects the company to grow the EPS, the earnings per share, by double digits next year. So they're giving a very strong guidance.
That's big.
That's true. Earlier on the show today, literally a few minutes ago, D.R. Barton, who's with us, said we would see 16K on the Dow before we see 18K on the Dow. Todd, come on back in again, please. Do you agree with that? 16K before 18K?
I think 15 too.
Wow. Take it one.
Thanks, Todd.
Is that a short-term sell-off in the next couple of weeks or what?
I believe we're going to go check the lows that we made on August 24th. I think that's just from a technical standpoint, we're going to probably go down there and test the lows. The Dow was the only index that did not get down to those lows. The Russell's made a new low. The S&P went right to them. The Dow's going to go down and check them. I think we see 15-2 or a little bit lower. And I think the market does work its way lower here after the Titanic sinks from all the people chasing yield here to get back in.
Okay. DR, you're nodding your head. You're agreeing with this?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with him. Technically, he's spot on. And I think one of the things, the Dow's a little bit weaker than the S&P. Today's going to be a big, big day. The S&P had a little bit of a breakout yesterday. If we can't hold those numbers, we might be going down sooner than we think.
Yeah, but right now we're up 56, 60 points. We're up at almost at 17,200.
Right.
Let me give you another big moving stock, and that will be Wynn, the casino people. This is down big. You're looking at an 8% drop. This is a China play. There's a slowdown in Macau gambling, and that's a China play, and down goes Wynn. I've actually been to the Wynn Resort in Macau. It's a nice place. I was there a few years ago. Todd, this is all about China, isn't it? And that's a big deal where you are right now in commodities and currencies.
It's a huge deal for Wynn, and unfortunately, it's obviously costing them a lot of revenue. They've all based, Wynn and Sands based most of their revenue coming out of that area, And when that area slows down, it really cuts into their revenue. I mean, wind was just $120 stock.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, and it just came back up from 50. So it looks like it's going lower here. And as long as China's having trouble, I think they have trouble.
Liz?
Cash flow really hurt by the Wynn Resorts via the Macau operation. Steve Wynn scathing about China. He is saying their behavior is, quote, ridiculous and outrageous because they're capping the number of tables in his casino over there. And they want to basically make Steve Wynn's enterprise do its own infrastructure spending. Non-gaming facilities is what China's pressuring Steve Wynn. He said 5 times in the earnings conference call, never seen anything like this in his 45-year career.
China's Communist Party has had this huge crackdown on luxury spending. It's illegal for Communist Party members to gamble because they have, but with this crackdown on corruption, it's really cut back on win.
That's right.
Numbers.
You ever go to the casinos in Macau? It's all table games, not many slots. It's table games.
That's
and
interesting.
Real quiet. All you hear is bang, the money on the table.
Serious
A lot of money.
And
With the cameras around.
You'll remember 2 weeks ago, you flashed up the bottom 5 stocks that day. Ashley and I both said, Win, you got to stay away from it. So we alerted people 2 weeks ago to this.
I got another China story. That will be Yum Brands. They've lowered their forecast. They've done this a couple of times, actually. The stock is up because a Carl Icahn guy is joining the board. So up goes the stock, nearly 2%. Let's look at Walmart, please. No bounce. No. In fact, it has dropped over 11% in the past 2 days. And get this, sales at its 21 stores in China dropped 6% last year. Walmart just touched 58, now it's 59.
Nike just hit another all-time high. This stock has been on fire after a very, very bullish outlook for its revenue and sales over the next 5 years.
130 on Nike.
130.
Look at that.
What do you
but,
got?
you know, Walmart really under pressure from Amazon. They've got to get their e-commerce. But, you know, Amazon beat it in market cap in July of this year. At one point, Amazon was even bigger than Walmart.
You know, we used to look at Apple every single day, if not every single half hour. We haven't done that for a while, but we're looking at it now. Listen to this. They're giving a special kind of stock to a whole bunch of employees, even the people in those blue T-shirts in the Apple stores.
Yeah.
No big deal for Apple. It's still at 111. I can't explain this. That thing has sat there for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Right.
Volatility compression. Look for a breakout.
Wait. You should have the buzzer for that.
What the...
Volatility.
Thank you.
Volatility compression.
The price has slammed together, been going sideways for a long time. A strong stock like Apple's going to break out of that, Stuart.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Let's get to Nicole on the floor of the exchange. Mattel. What's this? Not selling enough Barbie dolls? The story, please.
What's up with the 56-year-old Barbie? She's supposed to be iconic. Well, guess what? 8 quarters in a row. This latest quarter, again, Barbie's sales are dwindling, dropping 4% for Mattel. Mattel, you can see, is to the upside, and I'll explain. But big picture, they're talking about the currency headwinds that they face with the strong U.S. dollar, and Barbie's just not bringing it for them. But they did get some positive comments on the turnaround plans that they're doing. There is some hope for Star Wars and Hot Wheels, but they have some tough competition for Hasbro.
They need a Barbie
movie.
movie.
You looked at the stock. Hasbro
They need a Barbie
is up
movie.
40%,
Yeah, hold on a
and
sec.
Mattel's down in the ground.
That was good. They need a Barbie movie.
Yeah, they need a Barbie movie because Disney's Frozen dolls are really killing it in merchandise.
That's right. And Monster High dolls, those Monster High dolls for Mattel, they were like for a blink of an eye. Nobody wants those either.
All right, the good story.
Yeah, 8 straight quarters of revenue drops. Bad news there.
Oh, that's
8 straight quarters.
Horror story, and the chart reflects it. Netflix, where is it today? Big drop. It was down big drop the other day. Now it's struggled back to $101 a share. I can't remember. You used to like it.
I did. Late last year, not. Early this year, started liking it. Now I still like it a lot. The one big problem that we had in all the earnings picture that just came out a day and a half ago, Stuart, was that the U.S. subscribers were down, but European subscribers were way up. We're opening up to Italy, Portugal, Spain, and we're a lot of good things going here. I like it right here at 100. It's a good support level. I like it here.
They're bankrupt in Europe, you know. Did you know that? Right. The headline to Fox Business from Treasury Secretary Jack Lew. Here's the headline. The government needs to spend more money to get this economy going again. Todd Horwitz, I know you're just itching to get in on this one. What do you say to the Treasury Secretary who said on our air, on Fox Business, he said, look, you got to spend more money. Infrastructure, that's how you get growth. And you say what?
I agree that we need infrastructure and that we should create the war effect in the United States to rebuild America. However, the money should come from the $4 trillion they gave to the banks to bail them out and to keep them afloat. It should not be created from the government, so us taxpayers keep a more for that as well. The government is way too big. We need these guys to stay away from it so we can actually rebuild something here. This is a total joke.
Right. The president's $840 billion stimulus plan of 2009, just 7% of that went to infrastructure spending. It shows you how government is incompetent in doling out infrastructure money.
But that whole stimulus plan did not stimulate the economy.
No,
$840 billion.
Right.
It didn't do it.
Right.
Well, the broken window fallacy. Frederic Baptiste said that when you break a window, you don't build up the economy. Yes, thank you. By getting that spending, there's better places to spend money than trying to rebuild something. Now, it'll make us efficient, but that's not the way you bounce the economy near term.
Look at Disney stock. It wants to hire someone to fight ISIS cyber attacks. Now, that's a departure for
How about
Disney.
this? It's actually for an intern. This actually gives you an intern who understands Microsoft Office. Apparently, that's the key to beating ISIS. They posted this opening for an intern to come into who can develop counter-threat plans to ward off terrorists and cyber attacks. Of course, they're very concerned not only about cyber attacks, but physical attacks. Tens of millions of people come to their parks every year, and they have, I would assume, what would be a black ops unit in Burbank, where they're based, looking at targets. I mean, obviously, they are a symbol of an American, company that would be very, attractive target.
Now, I am about to start to talk baseball again. Todd, you are in Chicago. Are the Cubs going to go all the way after 107 years? You have to say yes, don't you?
Go Cubs, go! Yeah, they're going all the way. They're going to. This is Joe Madden is something special. They've got a great team, and it's going to be a great series because I think the Mets have a nice team as well. But I think at the end of the day, the Cubs will beat the Blue Jays.
A nice team.
The Mets have a nice team.
That's trying to be polite.
How to put somebody down. This is New York. Didn't you know that? Good heavens above. Check that big board. We were up. What are you saying? What's that? We were up 60. Now we're up 19. Watch out. How do we close? I don't know. Up next, a guest who says the Democrats